Archangel Michael says, there has been a noise behind your back that you didn't hear, but heaven did. Your name was placed in a circle of slander where mouths moved faster than truth could catch up. But something shifted in the unseen realm last night. A divine force stepped in to shut that voice forever. What was once whispered against you has now turned into silence, thick and choking on the tongues of those who meant you harm. A person who laughed when you were down, who clapped at your struggles, has been stopped mid-sentence. They didn't expect the heavens to move this fast, but the order has been issued, and justice has begun. The one who doubted you, who poisoned others against you, suddenly found themselves exposed. Not by your hands, but by something far greater, a divine judgment that watches from a distance and strikes with precision. Type Amen to get blessing 333. A strange stillness fell upon the one who tried to damage your image. That person's influence collapsed like paper in fire, and those who believed their words are now doubting their own judgment. It was not your defense that silenced them, but divine interference that held back your tongue so heaven could speak louder. Archangel Michael says, you were not blind, you just had faith. You chose silence while they chose noise, and now silence is their new prison. The tongue that twisted your truth has tasted the bitterness of consequences. They had one goal, to break your confidence in yourself. They wanted your head to hang low and your spirit to remain small. But what they didn't realize is that heaven loves to raise what others tried to bury. Type Amen to get blessing 888. The message spread against you was like fire in dry fields, quick, reckless, and destructive. But today, the smoke has cleared, and people are starting to realize you were never the enemy. Heaven didn't just clear your name, it placed a divine spotlight on your resilience. Those who followed the voice that accused you now feel the weight of regret in their own chest. Because truth does not need to scream to win, it only needs to stand long enough for lies to trip. You didn't chase revenge, and that's exactly why the revenge came on its own, wrapped in divine precision. The person who painted you wrong is now being seen as unstable, unreliable, and untrustworthy. Their power over the story has been stripped, and the silence around them is heavier than the loudest argument. Archangel Michael says, no one laughs long at lies when truth walks into the room. Type Amen to get blessing 444. There was a private meeting meant to ruin you, but the words spoken there are now haunting the speaker. Divine energy turned their celebration into confusion and panic. People are now avoiding the one who slandered you, because they fear they'll be the next victim of their venom. You are not forgotten by heaven, even when the world turns its back. This act of divine silence is not the end, it's the beginning. You'll never make it, is now watching you from afar, ashamed to speak. They've lost more than your trust, they've lost their influence. And those who once echoed their accusations are now praising your strength. Your blessings will multiply because of what you endured. Your glow will increase because of what you didn't respond to. The reward isn't just spiritual, it will become visible, undeniable, and unstoppable. You will notice people trying to reconnect with apologies coated in nervous smiles. Let them feel the distance they created. You owe no one access to a heart they once tried to stain. Type Amen to get blessing 666. Their circle is shrinking, while yours is expanding with favor and divine alignment. They spoke against you, but now you are the one being spoken about, in rooms they can't enter. You were once the topic of gossip, now you are the headline of transformation. Your healing was not just for you, it was a divine performance meant to show what grace looks like. People watched you suffer, but now they're watching you shine. And they can't explain it, because it doesn't follow logic, it follows favor. You are no longer hiding from the pain has made you undeniable. You are no longer reacting, your presence now makes them uncomfortable. Because you carry something they can't lie about anymore. Type Amen to get blessing 000. The truth moves slower than lies, but when it arrives, it stays. The person who silenced your joy has now been silenced in return. Not by your hands, but by the hands of divine authority. Let your light continue to rise without seeking validation. Let your silence continue to confuse those who expect revenge. Because the higher you rise, the quieter you'll need to be, peace is loud in its own way. Archangel Michael says, don't look back. Their story no longer holds weight in your future. The wind is now behind you, not against you. Type Amen to get blessing 101. Your journey has shifted. What once felt heavy has lifted with divine permission. You're not moving on, you're moving higher. Those who tried to block your name will now see it written in places they can't reach. Your voice is being amplified not by anger, but by truth. And the silence of those who lied is louder than ever before. Heaven didn't just shut their mouths, it opened new doors for you. Doors they cannot touch, influence, or close. You're walking in favor, shielded by truth, and crowned by divine silence. Type Amen to get blessing 314. They feel the weight now, not because anyone accused them, but because truth has found them. The silence around them isn't peace, it's punishment. The same voice that once proudly twisted your name now trembles at the sound of your success. The echo of your strength walks into every room before you speak. What they once mocked, they now admire in secret, unable to stop what God has already put in motion. And you? You're not even looking back, because there's nothing left behind. A season where your name will only be associated with strength. What they meant for shame has been converted into divine shine. There's a shift in how people look at you now. They see a survivor, not a victim. They see someone who didn't retaliate, yet still won. Type Amen to get blessing 777. The mouths that mocked your pain are now tasting it. They didn't think the tears they caused would return as their own. But heaven does not sleep on those who suffer in silence. You are not the person they tried to describe, you're the person who kept quiet while the skies prepared your vindication. The storm came not to destroy you but to scatter those who plotted in the dark. Every word spoken against you is now returning to its sender, multiplied with the weight of guilt. Your dignity is being restored one truth at a time. The echo of slander has been replaced with the whisper of awe. Because people now see the light they tried to cover in shadow. Type Amen to get blessing 999. They wanted to see you cry, but they're the ones hiding tears now. The truth is not just setting you free, it's locking them out. The divine act that silenced them wasn't violent, it was just, precise, and final. People are starting to ask why they ever believed the one who gossiped. They're starting to see patterns, repeated stories, and cracks in the lies. And you didn't have to say a word, because divine justice never needs a witness. Archangel Michael says, let them wonder how you rose. Let them guess who protected you. Let them regret what they did, while you continue walking toward your promise. Type Amen to get blessing 555. Someone who once stood tall on your pain is now crawling through their own. The energy they sent out returned like a boomerang they forgot about. Now they speak less, avoid eyes, and no longer feel confident in their poison. There was a file, a message, or a plan created to damage you, but it didn't even reach its destination. It was intercepted by something invisible but powerful, a divine hand that protects without explanation. You are not defenseless, you are divinely shielded. The person who started the fire has burned their own hands. And even those who stayed silent during the slander are now coming forward, wishing to apologize. Because the truth, when it lands, humbles more than any punishment. Type Amen to get blessing 222. You will no longer be the one people pity. Now you are the one they respect from a distance. Your silence became your sword, and it cut deeper than their loud lies ever could. Don't return to the old story, it has ended. Don't open your mouth to explain what heaven has already proven. You are walking into a new space where your name speaks for itself. Archangel Michael says, you will see the shift with your own eyes. They will avoid your presence because guilt is a loud ghost that walks with them now. You don't need revenge when justice is already in the room. Type Amen to get blessing 111. The one who that's worthy of your gaze. Type Amen to get blessing 747. Some of them will try to act like they were never part of the betrayal. They will shift blame, rewrite memories, and pretend they were on your side. But divine exposure leaves no room for hiding, every spirit is being revealed now. You don't need to name names, heaven already has. You don't need to collect proof, the collapse of their lies is proof enough. Their whispers have been replaced by your rising, and no one can deny what's happening anymore. A timeline has shifted because of you. A curse they tried to place has returned to their own doorstep. And while they lose sleep trying to undo the damage, you're resting in peace that can't be shaken. Type Amen to get blessing 828. You've become too powerful for them to handle, not because of revenge, but because of grace. They thought their voice had power, but they forgot who hears even the silence of the righteous. Heaven heard every sigh, every night you couldn't speak, and now justice is speaking for you. There are meetings being cancelled because the person who used to lead them has lost credibility. There are decisions being reversed because truth has overtaken the lies they were built on. You don't even know the full scale of your vindication, but you will soon. Archangel Michael says, when heaven starts fighting for you, every whisper becomes a roar. They will try to pretend they never said what they said. But heaven records what people delete. Type Amen to get blessing 181. Your footsteps now make those who mocked you uncomfortable. You walk with an invisible crown that rattles the very guilt in their bones. They never imagined that the one they spoke against would rise this far, this fast, this gracefully. People who once avoided you are now watching you from the shadows. Their plans failed not because you fought back, but because something bigger fought for you. The power that shut them down didn't need a sword, just truth. You will continue to rise, and they will continue to shrink in silence. Not because you wanted it, but because divine timing works in mysterious waves. Every room they entered to talk about you will one day mention your name with reverence. Type Amen to get blessing 909. They called you weak, and now they call you strong, but don't forget the in-between. Don't forget the tears, the silence, the pain that shaped your new authority. You didn't skip the storm, you survived it, and now the thunder follows you, not them. Their voice once held influence, but now it's just noise in the background. You don't have to explain how it all changed. Your story is already being read by those who once judged without knowing. There are blessings lining up at your door, ones they said you'd never receive. There's favor coming that even you didn't expect, because heaven always over-delivers. You lost friends, peace, maybe even confidence, but you gained heaven's endorsement. Type Amen to get blessing 369. They wanted your name forgotten, but now your name is remembered for endurance. They wanted you erased, but heaven rewrote the entire page with you at the center. No weapon formed against you worked, and the silence of your enemies is proof. There is a reward coming tied to your restraint. Because you could have exposed them, but you didn't, and that silence became your sword. Every person who believed the lies will now question their judgment, not yours. The one who shouted lies the loudest is now whispering apologies in private. But the apology doesn't matter, the truth has already done the work. You've outgrown that battlefield, and the war has moved to their own front doors. Type Amen to get blessing 212. You no longer need to worry about what's said behind your back, because heaven already stands behind you. Your past is not what they described, your future is what God wrote. And that divine hand is still writing, still defending, still opening doors. People who once turned from you will return with respect. Not all deserve to come back, but their return will show you just how far you've come. You are no longer the same person they tried to destroy, now, you're untouchable. The shame they tried to paint on you has been washed away by divine fire. That fire didn't just purify your image, it scorched every false witness who dared speak your name in vain. You didn't even have to light the match, heaven did it for you. Type Amen to get blessing 515. The silence around them will grow heavier, and their presence will begin to shrink. No one claps for the person who hurt the one God is blessing. The shame will follow them louder than your success, because truth always exposes darkness. Let them pretend, let them hide, you stay focused. Your blessing is not tied to their apology, it's tied to your alignment with divine purpose. Keep walking, keep glowing, keep quiet, because silence is sometimes the loudest victory. Archangel Michael says, you will rise above their reach. They won't even be able to speak your name without trembling. Because when divine justice hits, no lie can hold its weight. Type Amen to get blessing 404. You are no longer just a survivor, you're a walking reminder that light always wins. Their betrayal didn't end you, it introduced you to divine favor. Their slander didn't bury you, it became the soil where your new self grew. Now you're producing fruits they never thought possible. Now you're being seen in rooms they tried to keep you out of. And the best part is, you're not even bitter, you're better. Your peace is unsettling them. Your growth is undeniable. And their silence, well, it's the greatest apology they'll ever give. Type Amen to get blessing 525. The one who once stood before others accusing you has been pulled behind the curtain. Their voice is fading because the light is no longer with them. You don't need to expose them, their own words are doing that now. You will soon hear stories. People who once ignored your truth are now seeking it. Doors that were slammed in your face are now opening wide, not because of noise, but because of favor. You didn't force it, your obedience and patience made way for it. Their punishment is in their memories. They can't unsee how you've grown, how you've flourished, how you've overcome. Every moment they tried to make you small is now making them reflect. Type Amen to get blessing 626. What was once spoken to harm you has now become irrelevant. No one talks about their lies anymore, only about your breakthrough. You are rising, and their silence is part of the echo that lifts you higher. Archangel Michael says, don't touch what heaven already handled. Don't lower your crown to pick up a sword. Your very existence now battles every word they once uttered. There's a new protection around your name. It's wrapped in divine truth, reinforced with favor, and guarded by light. Anyone who tries again will be silenced faster than the first. Type Amen to get blessing 717. You are not just moving on, you are being restored in full sight of those who tried to ruin you. This is the table that was prepared for you, not out of pride, but out of proof. Proof that grace wins, always. There is a new version of you they never imagined. You no longer cry about it, you walk above it. The pain they caused created the path you now rule. What was meant to destroy you has crowned you. And what they thought was the final word became the beginning of your breakthrough. Your destiny ignored their judgment. Type Amen to get blessing 919. You're no longer reachable by the voices that used to sting. You're no longer shaken by whispers in shadows. Because you've been called to stand in places they're not even allowed to imagine. Let them see it. Let them sit in the silence they created. Let them live with the memory of how they misused your name. You are now aligned with something greater. Your steps are now ordered by divine instruction. You will never have to defend yourself again, your life is the evidence. Type Amen to get blessing 1001. They wanted to bury you, but now they wish they had supported you. And yet, even their regret is not enough to return to your circle. Because your growth has elevated you out of their reach. The same person who used to be loud with accusations is now quiet in your presence. They avoid eye contact, because they feel the weight of what they did. They feel the distance, the change, and the divine wall between you now. You don't need them to say a word. The silence is enough. And heaven is still speaking on your behalf. Type Amen to get blessing 3133. Archangel Michael says, a new chapter begins now. This chapter is not about what they did. It's about what God is doing. Favor will follow you faster. Miracles will manifest clearer. And blessings will flow heavier, because you endured, and you believed. You didn't respond with anger, you responded with alignment. And that alignment be